Hello everybody, welcome back to my gaming review. Today I want to talk about these little mini consoles that Nintendo has made, that PlayStation's made, as well as Sega, and then you also have the Commodore 64 that I believe was made by Retro Games. But these mini consoles are really fantastic and great little mini systems that you can pick up and buy, and all of them come preloaded with a whole bunch of games. So the PS Classic has 20 games. This one, I believe, has like 30 games or 64 games, whatever. I forgot the exact number. I think it's a 64 games because the Commodore 64, and then like the Nintendo mini systems come with like 30 or 20. But you have the PS Classic, the Commodore 64 Mini, Sega Genesis Mini 1, Sega Genesis Mini 2, you have like the Turbo Graphics Mini, and so on. And the great thing about these mini game systems is that it's a good way for people to get into retro gaming as well as like collecting. And it's like if people have never played or experienced a C64 or PS Classic or Sega Genesis, well, now it's a really good time to experience it because you can pick up these little mini systems that come with a whole bunch of games already on the system, and they get to experience, the past, and they get to have that retro feel that people got back in the day when the consoles came out, like the PlayStation came out in the 90s, and you had those original controllers that had no joysticks, so you had to just use a D-pad. So, mini consoles are great because, they give people that retro experience. It's good for people who have never experienced these consoles before. Plus, of course, these are easier to pick up because, let's say you're looking for a Sega Genesis console, and obviously a Sega Genesis is very old now. The parts are getting old. The system is obviously wearing down. The motherboard might be like rusted, might have some damage in it. So when you pick up a mini console, obviously these are brand new systems. There's no moving parts in them, but they're also pretty much just like digital. These are just digital consoles that have really not that much in them. So they're very, reliable. They're a good choice if you want to get into retro gaming, and they're perfect for reliving the past. So, if you have a PlayStation 1 console, let's just say, and it has a bad laser or a bad power supply, you can just pick up a PS Classic. You can like modify these, and you can have whole tons of games on a PlayStation Classic. Same goes with the Sega Genesis, same goes with the Super Nintendo Mini, and the NES Mini, and the Sega Genesis, and all that. These little mini consoles are perfect because they get to give you that retro experience. Plus, there's not much to them, and, realistically, there shouldn't be any, too many issues in the future with these systems because, again, there's no moving parts, there's no lasers, there's no fans. And these, like, these retro consoles, like the Nintendo NES and the Super Nintendo, the mini versions, obviously they have no cartridge slots, so you won't be, blowing your games, you won't be, having to clean your cartridges, you won't be having to do any of that stuff because it's a little mini console that comes with a whole bunch of games inside. Plus, you could modify all of the mini systems and add more games to them. So, mini consoles are very fantastic. They're very great systems to collect for and get. I have 3 of these mini consoles. I got the Sega Genesis Mini, got the Commodore 64 Mini, and I got the PS Classic. Now, I've had an original Sega Genesis. I've had an original PlayStation 1 before. I never had a C64 in my entire life. I bought this a while back when these things came out. Because I was very interested in it, because I was like looking on Amazon for like gaming stuff. I was like, C64 Mini. I have no idea what this is. I picked it up and I was like, wow, this thing is just, it's very interesting. I'm not very nostalgic towards this because, again, I never had the original one. But it's a pretty great system that comes with a whole bunch of games during its time. And it was able to give me that experience that people had back then. Not like the same exact experience, because this is a computer, and you had to actually use the keyboards, and you had to actually use like a floppy disk, I think it's called, and this like and it was like these things are very slow when it comes to loading games, and my experience is obviously different because this is fast. It doesn't have a real keyboard. Obviously, it's a little different from actually owning the actual real C64. But the cool thing, though, is that, again, it gave me that experience. Got to play some C64 games for the first time a couple of years ago. And this is a cool thing to have in my collection. Maybe I'm in the video. Tell me in the comment section below what you think about these little retro mini consoles. Do you like them? Do you think they're cool? Or would you rather have the original OG system? But anyway, I'm in the video, so peace out. Again, leave a like, comment down below what you think about these mini consoles, and peace out.